Hi, Christophe from returningwithemails.com, and today I got a case study for you. You can see this email on the left that converts at 2%. It was from another agency, and after hiring us, our clients went from 2% conversion rate to 4% while keeping relatively the same AOV. I think ours is slightly higher, but it wasn't the purpose of this video. And I'm going to tell you every split test and changes that we made to this email on the left to make it go to this version on the right. So let's get into it. So first off, we brought a change to their open rate. This is the biggest lever you can pull on an email funnel because the open rate is the store of everything. They first open, then click, and then place an order. So the biggest change you could do is the open rate. That's why we started by this one. And especially in this case, theirs was terribly low. I think if we can go back, theirs was 35%. It's really not a lot, especially on a flow where people are supposed to be super engaged. So it could be because of two reasons. One, their sender reputation. So they're dedicated to sending domain, DNS records, and stuff like that. Or their subject line. So people are not incentivized to click because you don't pick their curiosity enough. And this is the second reason. Now, you could argue this might be a list quality issue, but for an abandoned checkout, the purchase intent is already there, so the list quality isn't factoring in. So how did we fix these issues? First off, we moved them to a dedicated sending domain and installed their records properly. This allowed them to have more control over their open rate as opposed to them being stuck with their previous performances. So here you have a video tutorial that I've done on how to do it precisely this, so you can get the same results for yourself and fix problem number one. Now onto problem number two. We kept testing new subject lines, and it's as simple as that. People underestimate the amount of testing that is required, and one thing I recommend, right, is to keep the end goal in mind. If you are running those tests, you should already have prepared the goal and why it's worth it for you. It should be crystal clear how more testing is directly equal to more revenue. Here, if 100 more people open our email, we get 4 more conversions out of it. And our AOV is $300. Then these 4 more purchases converts in $1,200 more dollars for each 100 more people that come to this flow. This is huge. So it's clearly worth it. And if you're testing something, you should have this kind of end goal in mind beforehand. Next problem, we increase trust. So this is not trackable, but trust me, you'll feel it. These items at $300 AOV, they cost a fair bit, so people want to make sure they aren't getting scammed. And that's a big concern with online purchases, and you have to handle those objections, one overtly and second off after covertly. So I'm going to talk about overtly first. You got to let them know customer support will not abandon them and where to reach out. So it can be emphasizing where to reach out, how fast are you going to get back to them, and also for this particular client, they had guarantees. So it was a guarantee around if the items can break or if it fades, something like that, they'll instantly replace it. You just have to reach to customer support. So if you have that kind of guarantee in place, definitely emphasize that because people will trust you more and it will reflect in your conversion rate. People are scared and it's your job to reassure them. This is very important. Keep that in mind. And then covertly, this is what most brands forget, is we replace their template with an on-brand custom email design. People assume you're a scammer. Again, this is the truth of online marketing. If your emails don't look great, 99% of your job there is to avoid looking like a dropshipper/scammer. So don't do that and you'll fix that objection. Then, making the content actually relevant for the people that open it. So what we did was we dynamically showcased people's choices of item inside of the email. Now you might ask why, and the reason is very simple. That shows the item, so they clearly want them. And every time you're showing it to them, either reminder they don't have it. FOMO is very powerful. If you don't know what it stands for, it's fear of missing out. It's very powerful and you should definitely use it. It's very simple. So you could add a section where you have you could name this anything, your selection, your cart, your picks, depending on your brand voice, etc. But it's basically an image here, the product image, then the name of the item and quantity. You can even add a CTA here. I didn't put it, it's just an illustration for you. But adding that kind of section is very huge. You'll have people thinking about their purchase like, oh, I really want that. I don't have it and I want it. So they'll click the button and then convert. That's very powerful. Try it and it might be a winner for you. Lowering friction. So arguably what had the biggest impact was getting people and redirecting them straight back to checkout. Now, one thing you have to do is think about when and why are people receiving this email. They literally had their credit card pulled out and ready to implement those credit card information into your site and getting their product delivered to them. So why on earth are you redirecting them to the home page if you can just make and facilitate the transaction? You have to make everything in your power to make it easy for them to pay you. So how would you facilitate that? The page you redirect them to, either it has clearly stated your offer. So if you have a buy one get one free offer running, redirect them to a page where you clearly showcase that, or straight back to checkout where they can again enter their credit card information and get their purchase. Second, accepting many forms of payment. That's straightforward. Now you can also implement payment plans and other stuff like that that facilitate them paying you. Next, sending time. Here's the exact strategy that we use at retainingwithemails.com. It works. You can go to our website and hear about our happy customers, and that's the one strategy that we use for everyone and when it comes to testing sending time. So we actually send the email 20 minutes after checking out first, and we test it against a larger time frame. So it might be 60 minutes, it might be 80 minutes, depending on a lot of factors. If you're a high ticket brand, definitely go on the higher end because people need to actually think about their purchase. But if you're a low ticket store, definitely go test 20 against 60. Depends on a lot of factors. If you need details upon that, reach out to me directly. But this is how the strategy works, right? You split test. Your first test is going to be 20 minutes against your larger time frame. So 20 versus 60 minutes. And now say 20 minutes win the test. You convert more people at 20 minutes rather than at 60. Then you're going to cut the time frame in two. Between 20 and 60, you're going to end up at 40. Then test 20 versus 40. Now say again, 40 minutes win. You do the same thing. You test 30 minutes versus 40 minutes. And now let's say 30 minutes win. Generally, I'll stop there because a 5 minutes difference in the email sending time will not make a massive difference. And if you're not $1 million store, don't even bother running that kind of test, a 5 minute difference in your sending time. If you are, though, $1 million brand, definitely go ahead and do it because it will compound massively. So again, this document is going to be linked in the description, so you'll have every resource there. And now I'm going to talk about a funny anecdote / statistic. Every store that has a retention problem could be fixed by booking a call with retainwithemails.com. 100% of the store that have an email retention problem actually never went ahead and booked a call. So my proposal to you, right, is go there, retainwithemails.com. We'll add $30,000 to $100,000 in new monthly revenue to your e-commerce business, and you only pay after it works. So if it doesn't work, you won't have to pay, and if it does, that's only then that you'll have to pay, and you will be pretty happy at that point that you do have to pay. We take care of everything, the writing, the designing, distributing, and even your domain records, right? So you don't have to bother with anything too technical. DNS setup, if you have seen the video, is actually quite, it can be a bit tricky if you're not familiar with it. We take that everything off your plate. So book a call there and see you in the next video. Thank you for listening. Like and subscribe.